Am I the asshole? For telling my mom I will move out versus paying $600 a month rent. I'm 25 years old, was paying $60 a week rent for a few years. I recently started a new temp job that pays pretty decent, and they decided to keep me with the company last week. This morning my mom texted me to say rent starts up again, $150 a week. I just told her I will move out. I already pay for my own meals, I only have my small bedroom to call my own in their house. I can rent a studio apartment 3 or 4 times the size of my room for a few hundred more, or could rent a room with friends for less than my mom is trying to charge me. It would be one thing if they cooked and cleaned for me every day and I was raking up their bills, but I do my own thing, pay my own bills. I never really even cross paths with my parents besides when I am getting off work. My mom's definitely pissed that I said that, I can tell. But I'm also upset the person who birthed me is trying to get me to pay what I would pay a landlord for rent just to sleep in her house. Even $100 a week I would have been more inclined to be okay with, but $600 a month just to be able to sleep at my parents' house seems a little high. If I am paying $600 a month, I think I would deserve my own spaces around the house also as I would with a landlord. It seems having a landlord would be a better deal for me in this case. Info. Where do you live? What's the cost of living? Have you looked at the rental market recently? $600 for a studio. What about utilities, internet, renter's insurance? Will you have to use a laundromat? Have you calculated that cost into your monthly budget? You should sit down and calculate these numbers. Better yet, sit down with your mom, look at comparables and calculate all the additional costs you weren't paying at $60 a week. Also, do you have furniture? A lot goes into getting an apartment. Do you make 2-3 times over the monthly rent? That's what places are asking for. If you don't and you don't have references, they'll ask you for a cosigner to guarantee you'll be able to afford rent. Also, do you have enough to pay last month's? You aren't just paying for a room, you're paying into all those costs as well. Be sure you can afford it before you go off. Not the asshole, you can do whatever you want. I'd be curious to know if pay my own bills includes things like natural gas, electric, internet, etc., or just things like gas in your phone. $600 for an apartment on your own seems highly unlikely, but maybe where you live it's doable. You'd be looking to add a few hundred for utilities on top of that. At the end of the day, just don't put yourself in a financial bind out of stubbornness. It's worth dealing with your folks if it sets you up for a better, sustainable future. Best of luck. Nah. 1. It's their house and you're 25, if she wants to charge you rent she can too. You're 25 and you should absolutely have the right to say you want to move out at that price and be actually move out. Nah. She can charge you rent. You can either accept it or move out. There's really nothing nefarious going on. Not the asshole, you mom has no right to be mad at you for moving out. However, quit the person who birthed me nonsense. $600 is too much, but $400 is fine for mothers. Who came up with that arbitrary line? Joke's on you, they want you to move out. How did you phrase it? Because if you were like, I appreciate having lived with you, but I think it's the right time for me to get my own place, she's TA. But if you took it really personally and went off on her, I get why she would be pissed. But yeah, you should move out. Nah. You should move out, you need a life as an independent adult. Although you claim you're independent at home, it is just not the same thing as living on your own. However, your mom is not an all for charging a 25-year-old rent, especially as it seems you gotta pass on rent for an extended period of time because you couldn't afford it. Info. Where on God's green earth are you renting a halfway decent studio for less than $1,000? Not to mention utilities and internet. Sometimes trash service or laundry fees. I want to go to there. Nah, rent starts up again. Sounds like she was giving you a free ride for a bit and then gave you a week to celebrate the job before informing you it was time to start adulting again. She seems like a great mom. You have no obligation to live with your parents. Her being upset may just be because you're leaving, and that can be hard on parents. Nah. You have the right to decide if you want to live in that space with your parents, pay more to live on your own, or pay less to live with potentially more than 2 friends. You can absolutely choose to move out. However, your parents definitely have the right to determine the amount of rent. It doesn't matter if she is your mother. Not that this is relevant, but they too are humans with costs, and retirement to think about, and you are now an adult who doesn't need to be supported. Info: what exactly are you paying when you say you pay your own bills? She is free to charge her working adult child, and you're free to make a financial decision that makes sense to you for your living situation. The house doesn't exist for free and they have to pay for it. That means mortgage, electric, water, gas if they have that, internet, etc., and you've been vague about if you contribute to any of that. Just because she's your mom doesn't mean you shouldn't be contributing to the household. It's expected that children either contribute or move out once they're working adults. No one is the asshole here. You wanting your own place is totally up for you. I think you're in for a surprise though. Yeah, for a few $100s extra you can maybe get a studio, then there's electricity, water, insurance, a lot of small items you're not considering. I think you'll find it's quite a bit more than a few $100s extra. Also, yes, you only have your small bedroom, but I'm guessing you can use the kitchen, the living room, etc. I'm not saying not to do it. At 25 I think it'll be healthy to have your own place, but don't underestimate all the extra costs. Not the asshole. Move out, it will be worth the extra money. Some parents don't realize how different things are now with cost of living compared to when they were young. It's a totally different ball game. Not the asshole. You're 25 and already basically living as if alone. Time to do it for real. Your room in your parents' house should be your safety net, a place to crash should your apartment burn down or some other such catastrophe. Once you've got your own place, go visit regularly. Bring fruit or other treats. I'm sure your relationship with them will improve, they'll be glad to see you. You'll probably get more free meals as a welcome visitor than you do right now. The $150 a week includes electricity, internet, cable, then there's water. They pay taxes for the trash to be picked up,